Hello, wonderful butterflies of this world. It's your host here, Ash from Butterfly Shots. Welcome back to Ash Unmasked for another episode. The podcast where we talk about everything and anything from books to life's little drama stories to everything in between for people that already know. Ash loves to talk, and it's no secret that we is a massive book lover. This is the introduction episode of a mini-series exploring a book about building self-esteem that really helped us lately. This mini-series is going to be presented in 5 episodes during the 5 next weeks. So butterflies, the context which we picked this book up to read is this one. For the last few years, with a bunch of back-to-back hard situation and bad mental health, our self-confidence really took a dive. For us, it mainly shows up as an inability to speak freely. It also shows up in oversharing because of the inability to know where to put boundaries. As a result, we suffer from excessive anxiety, meltdowns, and recurring burnouts. From communication to maintaining healthy relationships, this lack of self-esteem affects us in our personal life and even affects us at any work that we do. Ultimately, it manifests for us in a sort of imposter syndrome that affects us in all areas in our life. Anything good we do, we can't take credit for. It doesn't even feel like our accomplishment. It's just something we're supposed to be grateful for. But somehow, when things are not perfect, it's all our fault and we're really hard on ourselves. Why is that? After spending an awful amount of time on our own, we finally realized where the root of the problem was, and that was a lack of self-esteem. From there, we went on to the local library website, like we love to do, and searched for books about building self-confidence or self-esteem. We picked a few from the list of books and ordered them. They arrived at the library. We went to pick them up. We brought them home. We had a few books, so the thought was, well, we're not going to read them all, so just look at them, feel them, and pick the one that seems the most attracting. Ever since we're really lazy, we picked the one with the biggest writing and the less pages out of the bunch. Bonus, we enjoyed the physical look of the book, red and fuchsia with an ombre vibe. Really cute. We brought the rest of the books back to the library and committed to this one. This book I'm talking about is called Accept, Value, and Empower Yourself by the author David Bonham-Carter. It is marketed as a practical guide to build self-esteem. The book first talks about the author a little bit. David is described as a life coach and writer on self-help topics. He worked in the UK as a social worker for many years and also detains a master's degree in social work and a master's degree in psychology. In the book, the author uses techniques that are from cognitive behavioral therapy, known as CBT, and the author describes CBT as, quote, CBT rests on the belief that how we think influences our actions and our feelings, and that by correcting or modifying distorted or exaggerated beliefs, we can achieve more balanced feelings. There is a substantial body of research suggesting that CBT is particularly helpful for a range of issues that involve negative thinking patterns such as anxiety and depression. So from the first few pages of reading, I thought, well, this seems like a great book. It is written by someone who has education and knowledge in the technique he proposes, and he's using an actual type of therapy that exists and has been proved to work. Very good. We will be right back after to talk about the book structure. Hey there, butterfly. When was the last time you sent or received a real handwritten postal card? In a world of instant messages, a postal card is a refreshing personal touch that never goes out of style, especially when it holds the emotion of a photographic image. Whether you're traveling, celebrating, or just want to say, I'm thinking of you, a postal card is a small gesture that makes a big impact. Grab a pen, pick a beautiful card, and send some love the old-fashioned way. Don't feel like writing? Grab a beautiful image on a magnet to stick on your fridge. This message is brought to you by Butterfly Shots. let's get back to the episode. Accept, Value, and Empower Yourself by David Bonham-Carter is structured in 5 chapters. The author refers to this as a 5-point plan to better self-esteem. The first letter of each word spells out value, V-A-L-U-E. And he says that the approach value that he proposes is heavily inspired by the CBT, as we talked about earlier. The first chapter of this book is called Value Yourself. It talks about limiting beliefs. The second chapter of this book is called Accept Yourself. It talks about developing an attitude of self-acceptance. The third chapter of this book is called Look After Yourself. It talks about how important it is to take good care of your mind and your body. The fourth chapter is Understanding Yourself. It talks about self-awareness. The fifth chapter is called Empower Yourself, and it talks about developing assertiveness in communication skills. After spending numerous weeks working on the exercises of this book, we can say that this book is effectively very practical advice, and there's no fluffy woo-woo in here. Each chapter even goes as far as offering a case studies, tips to follow, and the exercises to try in order to help develop better self-esteem. This book is very down to earth, and we really enjoyed it. We do want to put out that some of the exercises can be very triggering. If you're someone who deals with trauma or certain mental health situation or disorders, the advice we would like to put out is to not do exercises that cause discomfort or anxiety if not accompanied by a professional. It is not necessarily a book to read from start to finish without stopping. It is a book that has a lot of exercises, and it makes it a long read. We started this book on March 19, 2025 and finished it April 25th, 2025, and we worked almost every day on it. Over a month of work on this book. After reading the book, we went on the internet to do some research about it. It's not a bestseller. That being said, we really enjoyed it. There's not a lot of reviews to be found on this book online, but did find one that was positive by Little Lady Librarian. Little Lady Librarian wrote a blog in 2020. The link will be included in the show notes. This blog gives this book a 4-star rating, and the blog describes the book as literally like therapy, but for free. The blog also says that the book could help you make some serious changes in your life. Overall, it is a good read and well worth the time spent reading it. And Ash agrees with all of this, and we would also give this book a 4-star. It is a great read for someone who's looking to improve their self-esteem without any fluffy woo-woo, but rather more scientific approach to self-work. For the main reason that this book took us so long to get through, and that we have a lot to say about this, and that we really love the author's perspective on the subject, we decided to launch this book discussion under a mini-series format. Come back each week for a discussion about each of the chapter of this book. Next Saturday, 10 a.m., tune in for the first episode where we will be discussing Chapter 1, which touches the subject of valuing ourselves, and it talks about limiting beliefs. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you read that book called Accept, Value, and Empower Yourself by David Bonham-Carter? What were your takeaways? Drop us a message and let's talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and join us whenever ya can. Thank you so much for fluttering by the pod. Until next time, peace out and take care of yourselves out there.